Breaking news, my country people. The former governor of Benue State, Samuel Otorm, have made a very shocking revelation that Atiku Abubakar is just like a kettle calling a pot black. He is pointing fingers at others. Meanwhile, his remaining fingers are pointing right back at him. He said Obasanjo described Atiku Abubakar as a very, very corrupt man, a man that lacks moral ground to even accuse anyone of corruption. Atiku cannot do that because if he checks himself, he knows he is corrupt. So, he shouldn't point fingers at other people. Guys, this is coming from Samuel Otorm. Let's find out more as we hit the news. But if you're joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. I sincerely appreciate your presence. Kindly subscribe and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Samuel Otorm, who is a former Benue State governor, has taken a swab at the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, recalling that the ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo once described him as a very corrupt man. Otorm said Atiku, who was the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 presidential election, was very angry with him and other G5 members because they did not back him in the election. And Atiku, in a statement issued by his media aide, Mr. Frank Shaib, had accused Samuel Otorm and other G5 members of lobbying for appointment in President Bola Tinubu's administration to avoid being probed, when Mr. Frank Shaib said that Otorm and the other G5, they are just hopping from one place to another, trying to lobby for appointment from Tinubu's government, trying to go to see if Tinubu will clear them of all the corruption allegations and charges labeled against them by the EFCC. You know, ahead of the general elections, these G5 members, which comprises of Otorm, Wike, Ifeanyi Ogwuanyi, Okezie Ikpeazu, and Seyi Makinde of Oyo, in fact, they openly attacked Atiku Abubakar. This one no be say they hide mouth o, they openly did so over some internal crisis that rocked the party that they could not resolve before the presidential election. During their campaign periods, Atiku was thinking it was a joke that they would later reconcile. But the G5 had made it known that they were not ready for any reconciliation with Atiku Abubakar or the party leadership. So they left Atiku Abubakar to his own fate. But according to the statement, Atiku is very, very angry because Otorm and other G5 members refused to be, used to thwart the resolve of Nigerians to produce a president from the southern region. Now the statement read, another reason for Atiku's attack on Samuel Otorm, who is the former Benue State governor, is his boldness to speak the truth to his face and rebuke him for making unstatesmanlike comments regarding the killings of the Benue people by the Fulani herdsmen. And Atiku Abubakar is on a record to have expressed bitterness towards Otorm for daring to entrance a law to prohibit open grazing of livestock in the state. The former vice president had, gone against Samuel Otorm. And yes, we know that all these have generated as a result of Atiku's frustration. Because we know that at this point, Atiku Abubakar is very, very frustrated. That man is in pain. Though he may try to hide it, you may not see it physically, but through his comments, the way he's lashing out on the G5 governors and other PDP governors that worked against their party, you would know that Atiku Abubakar is very, very pained and disappointed with what transpired at the 2023 presidential election. And yes, we know that all this have been generated as a result of his frustration, because he lost at the presidential election. And it wouldn't have been so had it been the PDP members, the PDP stakeholders had worked together to, bring about his emergence as the president-elect. But then his failure to humble himself and unite the PDP, opting to remain naughty even when the signals were clear that he was heading for defeat, summarized his performance in the last election. But then Otorm have made it known that a man like Atiku Abubakar lacks the moral ground to accuse anyone of corruption. The words of his principal, the former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who described him as a very corrupt man and have remained, inconvertible. Chief Obasanjo, in his book where he said, titled My Watch State, on pages 191 to 192, had made it known that Atiku Abubakar was a very corrupt man. His name was even among the names sent to us. And up to that time, the EFCC had enjoyed close, collaboration with the law enforcement agencies in the UK and the USA. And they gave green lights that, see, they should go ahead and carry on with this investigation. But the report was uncomfortable for Atiku and his associates. And I thought it was bad enough that, oh, this guy is a vice president too, and shouldn't be under any investigation for corruption when it was in his administration. This is Olusegun Obasanjo talking. So my country people, Samuel Otorm made a reference to the former president Olusegun Obasanjo when he talked about Atiku Abubakar in his book. Here he said Atiku Abubakar was, undergoing some corruption cases while he was still the VPO. Then, years back, when Olusegun Obasanjo was the president and Atiku Abubakar was his vice. So, my country people, what are your thoughts on this issue? I know Samuel Otorm is just trying to retaliate, being that Atiku Abubakar had made jest of them, had accused them of betraying the party. So he said, see, oh, you don't have to point fingers at me because you yourself, you know that your hands are not clean. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this? I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you. Bye for now.